Sup dogs, TheOdie here, and today I am going to put The Haunting of the Jill Wilson Family up on Steam. Just a game page, not the demo, not the game, just a game page. And I figured, you know what, maybe some of you guys are interested to see how that's done, so let's hop into it. Oh, and by the way, I guess I should also mention that if any of you guys are interested in putting it up on Itch.io, then I also have a video for that down in the descriptions. Also just a game page, not yet the game. Now, the first thing that you'll want to do is head on over to Steamworks, and after you create your account, which by the way, the account is free, but you will need a couple of information. I believe you'll need an ID. If you are a company, then your TIN number, and if you're not a company, then I believe you'll need your social security. Now with that said, we will come to this home landing page, and you'll have to pay a Steam Direct fee. As you can tell, I already went ahead and did that, which is why I have this create new app button, but you guys will probably have to hit that button. The good news is that it will be free if your game is free, and that if you sell enough copies to make the minimum amount, I believe it's $500, but you could read more information on that in the rules and guideline. And with that said, let's go ahead and hop into this. So the first thing you'll ask is what you're going to be uploading. Mine, of course, is a game. Don't worry if you totally get this wrong, you can change it. No typo is permanent. So it's going to go through all this information and done. And we can hit X. Where are you? Where are you? Here it is. So I can click on that, and then it will load me into this page. And you can read all of this information, but pretty much what you're going to be doing is going through this checklist and also through this checklist. Some things are recommended, such as just these two, but everything else is required. So make sure you do have all of this down. The other thing you gotta note is that it does take time for Steam to verify any of the information that you make that you want to push out as public for the first time. But after they approve it the first time, then you can push it out whenever. So like if you're making an update to your game, it can push it out as long as your game has already went through its initial approval. Oh, it says right here, 3 to 5 days. So just key things to note when you're making your game page and getting it all ready. The other thing to note is that you're going to need a lot of pictures, and here's all of them in their sizes that are required. But don't worry too much about that just yet. I will be walking you through all of them and what they're used for. The other great thing is that Steam will also tell you it's very, very user-friendly. So first things first, let's go ahead and go into this one. Why not? Let's just go down the list. So this is pretty much all the information regarding your game, DLC, test, soundtrack, etc., etc. Don't really have to do anything here, so we could go back to that home page. And we can head into edit story page and start typing away. So developer, that is me. It is I, TheOdie. Publisher, I publish things under Nightmarepug. And then any external website, which I do have. Oh, and fair warning, if you click any links, there's a chance that it may take your whole page over, and if you try to back up, all the information will not be saved until you hit the save button at the very end. So either keep hitting that save button, or don't click any links. Alright, so for supported platforms, if you actually know it, then put it in the information. If you don't, what you can do is go to the official website, click on products, choose the RPG maker that you're working with, and they should have the specs somewhere here. Aha, system requirements. And you can just copy all this information into it. Okay, so I do have some information that I do not know, and I'm going to leave it blank. I'm pretty sure we could get away with it, but of course we will see towards the very end. For the release date, you're not going to know it, and that's fine. You could actually just choose an arbitrary date and it's something that you can change later on. So I'm gonna just put a target date of August 28th, and then I can show how it displays, and I'll just put in 2025 because I don't exactly know yet. And we could choose an arbitrary time. And then going on, supported language, it's only in English. On to players, minus single player. If you made a multiplayer RPG Maker game, then are you sure you should be using RPG Maker? Supported feature, Steam achievements, genres, indie. RPG is kind of odd because it's a horror game, but I'd say it's sort of horror, and it's also casual, even though it'll get your heart racing. Hit save, and then go into tag my game. So now we got to choose all our tags, and we'll begin. And it's pretty neat how it works. You want to choose your top tags. So I think RPG and casual. It'll even tell you how many you should choose, and it will auto select a couple for you. And then it will then sort it out to be like, hey, I think these would actually work for you. But of course, that's for you to go in and look through and sort through and make sure. Damn, feels bad to click walking simulator, but it kinda is because it's super story driven. Not too many puzzles in this one. Interactive fiction, I think that counts. Alright, so now towards the end of doing your tags, what it's going to do is list all the ones you selected, and you want to prioritize the ones that are most related to your game to the top, and then make the less subjective ones towards the bottom. Alright, you guys, so once you organize your tags, hit publish, then you can hit publish again, and then it's successful. So now you can actually exit out of this tab and come back here. And I believe it should update, but if it doesn't, a simple refresh will actually do it, and you can continue onward. Support contact, you do need this one. This one is important. Alright, so now with the basic info done, we can now move on to descriptions, and you just need to give an overview of your game. All of this information will help guide you through any of the stuff that you're not so certain about. But this section is all of this information, and it can include images. And this section is just this top right over here. This is going to take me some time, and I'm just going to do it off camera. Okay, so I went ahead and filled out all of the information, and I am going to upload a custom image. Note that it can be PNG, JPG, JPEG, or a GIF, and max width 16 pixels. So here's my image. Here's where it is, and now, and to include it, know where you want to put it. I'm gonna just put it right at the tippity top, and boom, you select an image. Ta-da! Now I don't believe it has any centering, so if you do want to give it this full width, then 616, otherwise it will just be adjusted left. The other thing I want to note is that if you do take a while writing down your about, then do yourself a favor, hit Control A for Control All, Control Copy, and then hit save. There's a possibility, although unlikely, that it can time out, and if you do, then you'll lose all the information in your about, and then you'll painstakingly have to remember what you wrote and try to get it back in. Okay, moving on to rating. We have to go to the visit content survey, and you do have to answer this truthfully. Okay, so after you go through this information, just make sure that you hit save, and it will automatically generate your rating. And if it sounds right, then you can hit publish. If it doesn't, just be sure to go back through it. So if you know that your game contains violence and you read this title and was like realistic violence, well, it's a pixelated 2D game. As long as there is pixelated blood or pixelated killing, then it still considers as part of that. So publish. So it kicked me back to this screen, and where I want to go is not here by clicking it. I want to go back to the main page where I was editing everything. So I gotta go back to and find it. Okay, so now that we're back in ratings, you're going to see this in this check mark. This is only if your game has officially had a rating by an actual agency. So very likely, if you're indie game dev, probably not. Go on to the next one, early access. I don't really do early access for my game, so if you're interested, read through it, walk through it, and learn more about the FAQs. Into the graphical assets, and this is where things get pretty hefty. We have stuff like the header capsule, small capsule, main capsule, vertical capsule, and then we have tabs, so screenshots, library assets, and broadcast assets. Pretty much broadcast is when they use the Steam live streaming. So it'll be on this left panel and this right panel, and then your game in the middle. Library assets is when the game's in your library. Screenshots for your games. Store assets, everything for the storefront. So once you create all of that with the sizing, then you will just drag and drop it in. And the cool part is that based on the ratios, it'll actually know which one's which and auto assign it. I also titled mine exactly the way it is, so I know which is which. This is new. You now have to checkmark things to make sure that everything is appropriate. Don't worry if you mess up here. During the review, they will look through it and be like, hey, this didn't pass. Here's your reason why. And again, it does take that 3 to 5 days, so make sure you are doing this in advance. Now I do have a small capsule that didn't work. Oh, I thought it was the header capsule, but this is actually the small capsule. Maybe the size isn't actually right. Yep, the size is not right. Huh. Okay, and here it is. And they also give you a preview of everything, so that's nice. Okay, so next up is screenshot assets, and admittingly, I don't have any just yet, so I'm going to go ahead to library assets. And it's very similar to the store assets, except this one is in the player's library. The only one I want to emphasize is the library logo, and it does require to have a clear background. And the reason for that is, once it finishes loading, I will show you. Hey, 2 of them didn't make it. Okay, I did it. So, that was embarrassing. But here's what was going on. It was actually putting it as a header capsule when it should have been the library header. So now I'm like, where's the header capsule? And I wonder if that's all the way back as the store assets. Yes, it is. Okay, well, that explains things. And ta-da! It's been changed. Alright, so going down, we do have to do the placement tool, and this is where the clear, or whatever you want to call it, comes in. This is it. We just gotta change it. We can make it huge, we can make it tiny, we can make it the standard size, and I believe we can also change where we want it. We gotta look for where those green areas are. We can only put it in those areas, unfortunately. So you can't have it up here. It has to be top center, or top right, mid right, bottom right, or bam. Although if we expand it, then it could look like this. Then if I make a screen shrink, you could see how it also changes based on the size of your screen. Anyway, I think this is fine. Doesn't have to be massive. It's alright. Okay, and with that done, we can... What does it say? I'm still missing one. Let's refresh the page. Maybe it'll go 5 out of 5. Haha, there it is. Complete. Alright, cool. Now on to broadcast asset. And I do have some template for this one. Bam. Left. I think this one was supposed to be right. Complete. Cool. I just gotta do screenshots, but I gotta do that later. Alright, continuing. Oh, save changes. Always save those changes. Alright, continuing on to trailer. I don't have one just yet, but please do check out the game page and see what it looks like. Special settings. I honestly don't have any special settings, and if there is something that you want to set that's different than the default, then go ahead and read up on all of that. See what you want to change, what you want to do, such as adding a demo. Localization. It's for different languages. You seem to need a file for it to depend on when going through localization. And then publish at the very end. But because I do not have a trailer and I do not have a screenshot, I cannot yet publish. So with that said, let's go back into the dashboard. So if there's anything you're missing, you could always see it over here. And as you can tell, I am missing some controller support description. And I'm missing some community items. So I can just click it and get into it. And then once this is done, it can finally be seen on the store game page. So let's see what I can do here. Controller support. Start the wizard. Mouse and keyboard only. For now, that's what I know as confirmed. Cool. That was it. And then I do need the screenshots. Community icon. Okay, it is now in there. In avatar. I think I'll eventually make it each of their faces, but for now, I'll just have it as this. And then, if we go to publish, oh, what do you know? I can't publish changes. So usually when you publish, that's how you submit it into Steam and for it to make changes onto the Steam page. But currently, I do not have it ready because I do not have my screenshots and I do not have my trailer yet. But by hitting the publish button now, it will be loaded up for when it does officially go live. Okay, going back to the main dashboard. See what else I'm missing. Client icon. And a client icon is 32 by 32. And this is for when it's on your desktop as a shortcut. Okay, that was weird. So I tried uploading as a JPEG and clicking this box. And I even tried as a PNG. But for some reason it didn't work. So I just converted it myself to a .ico and it worked. Now, I do realize I also need a 16 by 16 version. So can't see him, but there he is. There he is. So tiny. Alright, gonna go on over to publish. Hit that prepare to publish. Say publish to Steam. And then you do have to type in Steamworks. And then really publish. And those internal change notes are for yourself if you would like to review. And now it would go live once this game goes live. And the last thing I just need are those 5 screenshots. You don't have to do cloud saves because this is recommended. Okay, so I decided to upload a couple of screenshots, and when you do, just make sure that you do note if it is suitable for all ages. Don't worry if any of you guys are YouTubers or from YouTube or the YouTube space, it's not similar to all ages as on YouTube, where that would be kid friendly. This is just making sure that they don't need to blur any of the images for someone who's under the age scrolling through the images. That's pretty much all it means. Alright, and going into trailer, I thought we had to create a trailer and it was required, but turns out it isn't. So now I should have everything all completed. And if I go back to the front page, my store present is complete. And all I gotta do is hit mark as ready for review. I can add any notes. I got nothing to give to them. I hit the OK. And it'll take 3 to 5 days. So cross your fingers, hope it turns out well. If not, they'll tell you exactly why, and usually it will have to do with your images. I'd say 9 out of 10 times it's where you place your logo. It can conflict with how they have set up on Steam. So usually the small capsule or one of these capsule and where the words are will be the culprits. But anyway, they'll tell you exactly what it is, so fear not. 3 days later and it's been approved. Here's what it looks like now. All you gotta do is click this button to post as coming soon and it will be live. But in the meantime, if you still got some work to do, you can hit the view in beta mode. And this is what it will look like. And yes, it will have a funky release date that you did not set, because it is in beta mode. And you can check it out, read your stuff, see what's good. All the links should work. Have fun. And that's pretty much it. In part 2, I will talk about the game build and everything that you will need to get your RPG Maker game up and Steam achievement ready. Oh wait, you guys want to hit the button with me? Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. So there you guys go. Getting your game up on Steam is incredibly easy. The harder part will, of course, be getting your game up there and getting a demo, and perhaps the hardest part is putting Steam achievements in that. So if you guys are interested in that, then subscribe. It'll come sometime in like 5 months from now. But in the meantime, please check out my game page. I'd appreciate it very much. Wishlist it. It'll help a huge ton. And other than that, hope you guys good luck with your own game project. Till the next one. Later.